Welcome, hunters, to my channel where I will be doing my best to inform you all to a very real and growing threat to our existence. A threat that has been hiding in plain sight in our cities, our wildernesses, and under our very noses. A threat so strange and alien to us that most of humanity passes them off as merely myth, legend, and folklore. Welcome, my friends. I'm here to inform, warn, and prepare you for the future. A cryptid crisis. Welcome, hunters, to the fourth video in the series titled Cryptid Profile Number 4, where I will be doing my best to inform you of a cryptid threat which has staked its claim within West Virginian folklore. A creature so famed and feared that it has inspired the writings of books, movies, and television alike. A cryptid threat often mistaken for a man-sized bird or UFO, and which has haunted many West Virginians' dreams for decades. I'm your host, Jack Penny, and in this cryptid profile, I'm no doubt taking on the Mothman. Large, winged, dark-colored, glowing red eyes. No doubt many of you hunters have heard well the story of this Mothman. Many of you may have even passed this cryptid off as merely a hoax. Perhaps witnesses were mistaken, citing perhaps a large bird like a sandhill crane, which can stand as tall as a man, with a 7-foot wingspan and reddish coloring around its eyes, or perhaps even mistaking a large moth or bat for the creature. Could this Mothman be just that, a hoax? Or could it be possible that this Mothman just so happens to be something to take seriously? In this cryptid profile, I will be presenting two theories. One, and probably the most well-known, rooted in prophecy, that this Mothman may just be a harbinger of catastrophe, that when it reveals itself, bad things will soon follow. And the other, a secret military experiment conducted during the Second World War. Let's get started. First reported on November 15, 1966, two young couples from Point Pleasant, West Virginia, Roger and Linda Scarberry, and Steve and Mary Millay, were out for a drive when they encountered the creature. It followed their car as they drove around an area known to be the site of a former World War II munitions plant, commonly known as the TNT area. They described the creature as a large gray creature whose eyes glowed red, a large flying man with 10-foot wings. The sighting preceded an event that brought about this Mothman Prophecy. There was even a book written about it, and a film adaptation. Anyway, this sighting preceded was the 1967 collapse of the Silver Bridge of Point Pleasant and the death of 46 people. Almost 20 years later, a reported sighting near the town of Pripyat in the Soviet Union preceded the disaster at Chernobyl on April 26, 1986. It would become the world's worst nuclear disaster in history when an explosion took place at the facility's Reactor 4. The sighting and events that followed didn't stop there. A sighting preceded the apartment building bombings of Moscow in 1999. A sighting occurred 5 days prior to the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. A sighting preceded the collapse of a bridge on Interstate 35 in Minneapolis on August 1, 2007. Some even claim a sighting preceded the swine flu outbreak in Mexico in 2009. Now, I'm a realist, but if that isn't solid evidence, I don't know what is. This Mothman prophecy is interesting, although there doesn't seem to be any consistent pattern in the frequency of these events. One could ascertain that there may be a correlation between the collapse of structures and this Mothman. now discuss a less popular idea that this Mothman was created in a military research facility during World War II. We know that this cryptid was sighted near a World War II munitions plant, the T&D area I spoke on in the first part of this profile. But is that the only evidence to a military connection we have? Well, far from it. Shortly after the aforementioned Moscow bombings in 1999, a sighting had occurred near Kiev when a family cow was taken in the night by a flying devil after the demolition of a former Soviet weapons development site. Before his unexplained death in 1986, German scientist Ralph von Berg, who worked for NASA, allegedly gave the New York Times a detailed tell-all of this Mothman and his time working in Germany. The Times did not print the piece. In 2002, information was even leaked from Area 51, though the government refused to acknowledge the information. A connection to three nations, the United States, Germany, and Russia. The origins aren't clear, but I'm inclined to believe that the Nazis were behind the experiment, crossing the DNA of a human and a moth to develop the hybrid, with Russia and the United States getting a hold of this experiment and conducting research for themselves. Both of these theories, I believe, rely on the idea that there are many Mothmen and not just one Mothman. Were many created, or is there Mothwomen, and can they breed? We know little about this cryptid species, but one thing is for certain, they're not going anywhere. So how do we kill this Mothman? A large bug zapper? Haha, no. I think conventional weapons such as firearms, knives, baseball bats, etc. should work. I haven't heard of anyone having killed one, though I'm sure they're out there. Now, because the Mothman can fly, as the reports have revealed, ranged weapons should be considered, although grounding this creature may be your best bet. Set a trap, possibly luring it in with a flashlight. I myself would probably attempt to communicate with the creature, but I cannot advise any of you to attempt the same. Remember, this cryptid is half man, half moth. Do with that information what you will. In summary, most of the reports tell the creature to be about 7 feet tall, although its weight has not been reported. It has been reported to have a 10 to 15 foot wingspan, so it's safe to assume it can fly. With half of its DNA being that of a moth's, it probably has the ability to jam sonar. And per the reports, a sighting may just precede disaster. At any rate, use extreme caution when out hunting for this cryptid. That is all for this cryptid profile. If you found this video useful, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video to help spread awareness of this cryptid crisis. And of course, hit the notification bell so you never miss a single cryptid profile. Well, hunters, be aware, prepare, and remain vigilant. I'm Jack Penny, signing out.